What is an energy auditor and how the best projects get actually implemented? Are you curious about energy efficiency and why some projects actually get implemented, or why measures recommended by the auditor get implemented while others just sit in the report with no action? In this video, I'm aiming to answer two questions. What is an energy auditor? And how do the best energy auditors turn ideas into implemented projects? Hi, I'm Bruce Rouse from the Sustainability Education Academy, and let's get into it. So the core idea in this video is that an energy audit by itself does not save energy. An energy audit shows you what to do in order to save energy, but savings happen after the measures in the audit are implemented. When someone funds the project, buys the equipment, installs it, commissions it, and checks performance. The most effective energy auditors are the ones who help teams cross that last mile. So what does an energy auditor do? Well, an energy auditor starts by studying how a building or site uses energy and finds practical ways in the meantime, while protecting the comfort, ensuring that comfort conditions remain, that the service levels are appropriate, that there's safety is, a site remains safe and minimizing downtime. So they're trying to improve, both save energy use and hopefully also improve the levels of service that are delivered, or at least maintain them. So typical tasks involving an energy audit will involve reviewing utility data, tariffs and trends, doing the very important walk through the site and observing systems, talking with operators, analysing heating, ventilation, air conditioning, HVAC, lighting, controls, envelope, and industrial sites and process loads, quantifying the savings, the costs, the risks, and the co-benefits, which may include maintenance savings or improved compliance or improved comfort. Prioritising the different energy savings measures that have been identified and packaging them up into a plan that decision makers can then approve. Now, great energy auditors connect the engineering through to the business needs. The maths matters, but so do the conversations that unlock funding. So who hires energy auditors? Well, you may be hired by commercial or industrial owner and operators, hospitals, universities, schools. There's many, the so-called mush market, municipalities, universities, education, something to do, I forget what it means, but it's schools and hospitals, mush. Municipalities, universities, schools, hospitals. The mush market is a very important kind of government-linked market. Public sector agencies and programs, these are public sectors as well. And there can be utilities and performance contractors or ESCOs that guarantee savings, energy service contractors. There can be consulting and design firms. And separately, as a separate kind of area, there's the residential home clients seeking basic audits. And there's two broad lanes you can follow. It's the residential versus commercial and industrial. Residential audits are focused on shorter visits, simpler measures, lighter documentation. Commercial and industrial involve deeper data analysis, stakeholder workshops, detailed calculations, and a defined pathway for funding, procurement, and verification. In this video, we're focused on the commercial and industrial out of lane, which is where the Investment Grade Energy Auditor, IGEA, credential sits. So what about the IGEA? Well, the IGEA is developed by SUSTEMI, the Sustainability Education Academy. It's a demanding, I challenge you to find any student who doesn't call it demanding, practice-rich program designed to help you show your work, and you have on-demand learning with clear modular lessons that you can do in your own time. You have very frequent test your knowledge checkpoints with explanations when you get it wrong. It almost concludes with a live 1 hour interview where you have to explain concepts on the spot and you can get a provisional certification. And then finally, to get your final certification, you actually have to submit a review project, a complete energy audit that you've done from the start all the way to the end that demonstrates your end-to-end audit capacity. So the IGEA aims to teach timeless approaches rather than focusing on short-term trends. It's a strong step towards applied skill, but it's not expert level by itself. Mastery still comes from projects and time. Now, recognition for the IGEA is growing internationally, with learners from multiple countries and sectors participating in this program. So, as I said at the start of this video, if implementation is the end objective or the goal, what actually moves projects from report to reality? So here's 5 habits that can help make the difference for you as an energy auditor. 1, listen first. Understand the business goals, comfort constraints, maintenance realities, and risk limits. It's very important at the start of the audit to be asking questions about what are the business goals? Why are you doing an energy audit? What do you really want to achieve? Secondly, is to quantify clearly. You have to collect a lot of data, and then you have to be very clear about how you use that data to come up with estimates of savings and costs. You need to be transparent, and you need to be very careful about how you make assumptions. A common mistake is for auditors to make some big assumptions without actually thinking it through in detail. Third, a habit to develop is the ability to prioritize wisely. A good energy audit will probably identify at least 20 possible energy savings measures at a site. And you have to prioritize which ones are the most important. So a good way is to lead with the ones that it's easy for the energy user to say yes to, so-called quick win measures that help build trust, and you're really sure of the savings, and that then can sequence through to larger capital items. And again, if capital investment is to be made, you really need to be sure of those savings that they can be achieved. Another habit to develop is that you communicate for decisions. And a really common mistake is to get bogged down in the technicalities and not to have a clear executive summary, a one-pager that clearly, without jargon, helps decision makers make a decision and makes approvals for projects easy. And then finally is owning the handoff. Really important. A great habit to develop is where you go after the audit. This is actually beyond after the official audit, but you help with supporting procurement, scoping out the works in detail, commissioning the upgrades, and measurement and verification to confirm the results. So these habits turn a good audit into a built project and a really important step towards building expertise. And then they also make your work easier to value by managers, clients, and hiring teams who can say, well, I did this energy audit, it was implemented, and these were the savings. And also you can say, and this is what I learned. Because you should be learning from every energy audit. It frustrates me. I had a conversation once with an energy auditor who was sick of auditing the same type of facility. And my reaction is, well, that's great. You're going to learn more and more about that facility. And each time you do one, you're going to learn more and get better at what you do. Energy auditing is a great profession because there's always more to learn. Okay. So some skills that matter. What are some skills that matter in order to be able to do good energy audits? Well, you need technical skills. You need to know HVAC, heating, ventilation, air conditioning. You need to know lighting. You need to have knowledge of controls fundamentals. You need to be aware of codes and safety requirements. You need great analytical ability to be able to determine baselines, do an energy use breakdown, determine how much energy is used for HVAC, how much for lighting, how much for other areas of the site, hot water, etc. You need to be comfortable with uncertainty, but reducing that by questioning assumptions. And you should be willing to kind of undertake a scenario testing. Well, if we did this, what would happen? What would the consequences be? So you kind of think through, or good practice is to work back from the end. How did that happen? What do we have to spend to get implemented? What assumptions have we made about the savings so that you're really sure that you're actually building a comprehensive case? So this then gets into another skill that matters is the ability to be able to build a business case that resonates so that you can talk the language of finance. Skills that matter, so you can talk budgets, procurement, you can talk about procurement process, you can talk about stakeholder alignment. Communication is tremendously important. As I think I've mentioned, you need to have that visual clarity, be concise with your writing, be confident when you speak. Obviously, professionalism, having strong ethics, being being clear about risks, not over exaggerating the expected savings, citing the sources, having clear assumptions, and using the lessons you've learned from past audits. So what are some career pathways? So if you're early in career as an energy auditor, you may be assisting others do energy audits. You may be collecting data. You may be doing preliminary data analysis. You may draft sections of a report. You may be responsible for analysing one measure and presenting the recommended implementation pathway, determining the capital costs and estimating the savings that will be achieved. If you're mid-career, you may be starting to run audits from end to end. For specific sites, you should be building a portfolio of implemented projects. You should be leading audits. And a senior or lead auditor may be directing multiple programs across sites, managing risk and budgets, mentoring others where appropriate, and may have part of their pay linked to outcomes. Okay, so how much do energy auditors get paid? Well, dollar figures vary from region to region and can change, and will vary over time. So I don't want to give you specific dollar figures. But for example, if you looked at a local building services engineer, mechanical electrical projects engineer, or a baseline, kind of in the same experience band, you'd kind of look at the following general guidance. If you're doing residential home energy auditors, they typically sit below the kind of engineer baseline that I've mentioned. Commercial industrial energy auditors will probably sit around or perhaps modestly above the baseline. And leadership roles would move higher when they carry commercial and implementation responsibility. So then you might wonder, is a credential worth it? So credentials are useful when they open doors to rooms where decisions are made and projects are funded. So the Investment Grade Energy Auditor certification, IGEA certification, helps you produce evidence, which is in the form of a reviewed energy audit you've done, and through a live interview that helps you understand and gives you feedback on how you think and deliver, which you could then take to a recruiter or to your existing boss and maybe ask for a pay rise. So raises don't come from reports alone, however, they come from results. If a credential helps you build an implementation portfolio, projects where you've done the audit and then they've been implemented and earned trust, I think it's worth it. So what do you do next then? Well, decide where you want to specialize. Is it residential or home or commercial industrial? Build the habits I mentioned earlier that drive implementation. If you want structured practice and reviews and a lot of feedback, explore the Investment Grade Energy Auditor, IGEA, by the Sustainability Education Academy, SUSTEMI, and there's a link below in the description. Track your implemented results. Use one-page summaries with cost savings and lessons learned, and you'll build a portfolio then which can be quite powerful in helping you either get a raise or get work. So in conclusion, energy auditors are problem solvers and bridge builders. They help teams cut waste while respecting comfort and the need to have good uptime for equipment, and help those with the finance invest with confidence. The best energy auditors don't just point at savings, they help make savings happen. So if you want practice that can lead to then the evidence, explore the Investment Grade Energy Auditor, IGEA by SUSTEMI via the link below. Now, in the link, you'll also find next steps in the description. So I look forward to seeing you hopefully take a course in the IGEA program. Thanks and all the best in you if you decide that you want to be an energy auditor.